Hey, this is Shane with From the Void.
And I'm Sean.
And we're here at Gamescape, and we are bringing you an unboxing of Imperial Assault Rebel Troopers. One of the first expansions to come out for the Imperial Assault board game and skirmish game.
Really been looking forward to this one. This is going to be really crucial for all you skirmish players, and probably has a lot of good, fun items for you campaign guys as well.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Sweet. Let's go ahead and tear in real quick without hopefully destroying anything.
If we do, we'll just edit it out later and just cut past it.
Or cutting my finger open.
Yeah.
That'd be good too.
That will keep in. Alright, so let's see what we got here.
Right. Actually, we probably should have read the back first. We've got a little blurb on here. So this is the Rebel Troopers. The Empire won't know what hit them. Bring strength and inspiration to your Imperial Assault game with Rebel Troopers. Fight alongside these brave soldiers in any campaign with the Brace for Impact side mission. In addition, this pack contains powerful new command cards and 2 unique skirmish missions for head-to-head play, which is awesome. We've been playing a lot of skirmish games and have been playing them with just the base maps that come in the core set.
I'm really impressed with the fact that you get a new skirmish map with every expansion. It goes from 3 skirmish maps all the way up to 10 now, each with 2 missions, and that's just a ton of different variation that'll take us a while to get used to in the 1v1 game. Which is my focus in this game.
Same.
So what else do we have in here? We've got the upgrade cards, the command cards, and the what are the command cards and the
deployment cards.
Deployment cards, thank you, as well as probably some cards for the campaign, and then situated below all that are our 3 Rebel Trooper figures, which we'll bust out in a second.
Looks like we've got some more tokens, and they gave us more stickers to designate your squads and differentiate them from each other.
All right. So let's see. You want to start with the cards?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the cards. All right, what have we here? All right, let's start with the actual deployment cards. Looks like we've got 2 deployment cards, standard Rebel Trooper, and you've got your Elite Rebel Trooper. Get these guys out of the way.
Now, the standard Rebel Trooper was included with the core set, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, standard was, I don't believe the Elite was in the core set.
No, I don't think it was either.
I think that's new.
So you could proxy that or use the counters that came with it to use these in 1v1 play already, at least the basic one.
Right.
We want to talk about how they differ from each other a little bit. Like, the cost is 6 versus 9. They both have very similar surge abilities, but the Elite Troopers is like double what the base Troopers is, and he has some really powerful abilities in the early game to get into position, which basically the first turn allows you to get all your Rebel Troopers into position and focused before the firing starts on round 2, which we all know is pretty crucial. Yeah,
that's actually pretty awesome. So if they spend 2 special actions, then they get 4 movement points and become focused.
And I think they have some really nice synergy with some of the cards we already have. The unique trooper guy in the core set, whose name escapes me, who I should have studied a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we can pop a little picture of him up right here.
Right.
Who gives you all your troopers that are adjacent, I believe, like extra attack bonus. So there's going to be some more powerful light side builds coming out, I think, or rebel builds.
Yeah.
That maybe can stand up to all this dark side Empire shenanigans that are going on.
Vader's Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Well, there's too many good dark side builds right now. It's just how it seems to be.
Yeah.
So these troopers will maybe help. I'm really hoping they will, because I'm going to buy several sets of these and see how they do. The one thing that I'm afraid of, which we might get into a little bit here when we get to the command cards, is that they have some really strong command cards that benefit the trooper subtype, which is going to help Vader's Fist and all these other dark side decks, builds as well. So
yeah.
Hopefully these will be more than enough to offset all the goodies that the dark side are getting. Excuse me, I'm going to say dark side a lot, but when I mean Empire, because there are actually 3 factions in this game and not just 2. So you want to...
I mean, but really nobody plays Scum right now.
Yet. Well, we're going to get into IG-88. Maybe he's going to make you want to do it because he looks good on the board.
Yeah, hopefully we actually see Rebel Troopers. I don't think I've seen anybody play Rebel Troopers yet.
No, I'm like one of those guys who I want to see like the actual mini. Like I didn't even really want to play the elite guard with regular guard miniatures on the same board just because I'm like OCD that way.
Yeah.
But I definitely am going to be playing these guys a lot now, and probably tonight because all my Imperial stuff is out for paint. So. You want to go on to the command cards?
Let's finish with the big cards.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to the command cards. So.
Oh, okay. So we've got
a mission card for the campaign, which I don't really play that much. I've played a couple games of, so forgive me.
Which is a couple more than I have. So we're not going to have a whole lot to say about the campaign components in these unboxings, but we're going to be focused on the 1v1 skirmish.
It's probably better that way, because that way we're not spoiling any campaign missions for any of you players of campaigns. It's a tactical decision on our part, really, to not spoil them.
And I would prefer just to not talk about it if I don't know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And we also get the 2 different mission cards that come with the skirmish map, the arrangement that's listed here in the printout that comes with the expansion. And these are Shadow War and Weapons Project. So the 2 missions that come with the Rebels are Shadow War and Weapons Project. Those will be the 2 variations you play on the map when you play their skirmish map. And I'm not sure how deep we should get into the differences in these missions. Just to add that they are going to add a lot of replayability, as we've already stated, and give you several different ways to play these skirmish missions, different ways to get the victory points you're going to need to win when you're playing, the PvP version of this game. So you're definitely gonna be looking forward to checking out all the mission stuff that comes with these, because they're going to inform the way that you play quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm probably almost more excited about all the new missions and new maps as I am about the minis. I mean, the minis are going to be awesome, but the chance to actually play on something other than the 3 maps we've been playing on over and over and over is awesome.
And there really is kind of a right way and a wrong way to play each map and each mission, and once you get it figured out, then the games can become, if not repetitive, but everybody knows what the best practices are now on all the maps that we have, and there's going to be a learning curve now with all the new maps and all the new missions, and I think
the new cards and the new cards are actually going to mix things up on the old missions too.
Oh, the new command cards! You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think the command cards are going to really open the game up, and that's one of my favorite parts about this game, is that not only are you getting new pieces that you can play, but you also have this whole customizable side where you're designing the way that your force is going to attack, and the way that it's going to play, and the advantages that you're going to bring to bear against your opponent in each matchup.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a really great game design from Fantasy Flight, and I think it makes us really excited to open these things up and take a look at them.
Yeah, totally.
So having said that, do you want to check out these command cards? Or
yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's bust into these guys here. Let's see. So we've got 6 command cards. We've got 2 copies of reinforcements. So use this at use at the start of the round. Choose one of your defeated troopers that has reinforcement cost of 3 or less. Place that figure adjacent to any other figure of its group. So I believe we've seen this one.
This was leaked, and this was one of the things that I was talking about, where this is really good with your Rebel Trooper deck, but it's also going to help Vader's Fist. It's going to help a lot of Empire decks with their troopers who are already really cost efficient, and now they're going to be even harder to get off the board. Especially the elite troopers, I think they're going to be really benefiting from this card.
Yeah. And
you can run 2 of them, so they're going to get stickier, and I think having lots of lower cost sticky units, it can really pay dividends in the skirmish game. So.
Yeah, for sure. But we do have something to deal with that. So the next card is Grenadier, which is a special action. You choose a space within 3 spaces, roll 1 red die. Each figure on or adjacent to the chosen space suffers damage equal to the damage results.
Right.
So now We're probably going to be seeing more swarms with all these trooper cards.
So we need ways to deal with them. Yeah, this is great. It's a trooper only card, so you're going to only be running this in your trooper heavy Empire decks and your trooper heavy Rebel decks, and it's going to help you deal with those clumped up guards that want to soak damage from each other. It's going to help you deal with those clumped up stormtroopers that want to give each other dice rerolls.
Yep.
So you can really punish, and sometimes it gets a little gnarly in the middle of the map, and you can really punish your opponent at the right time with this card. I think it's going to see a lot of play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's almost auto include if you're running troopers pretty much, but you can only have one of them.
For sure. Yeah. Only one in the deck, and it's a cost of 3, so it's a little pricey, but
yeah. Well, I feel like only the only the Empire has a chance to run their command costs up to 15 at this point. So I think that the 3 costs in Rebels is sorely needed. Now, you're going to have room for it, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think pretty much anything. If you're not running Vader, you're not really pulling 15 points worth of cards.
Which is going to change after today, after we open all these boxes. So you're going to be able to get your 15 points into your command decks, no matter what you run.
Now you have to actually start paying attention and doing math.
Yeah, and it's not just, you're not going to be seeing a lot of the command decks are going to start being unique and different, and instead of really kind of repetitive how they have been, which I think is going to be lots of fun. So
totally.
All right, anything else we need to know about?
We've got 3 more. We've got Provoke, which is use after you resolve an activation to choose a hostile figure adjacent to one of your troopers or guardians. That figure's group must activate next if able.
Okay, let me read this again. Use after you resolve an activation to choose a hostile figure adjacent to one of your troopers or guardians. So troopers are obviously all the troopers, Empire and Rebel, and then guardians. The guards are guardians.
Yes.
Or are they brawlers?
I believe they're brawler guardians.
Ooh, even better. So these are going to be. This is going to be another good card for both the Rebels and the Empire. That figure's group must activate next if able. So this is a card that lets you dictate what your opponent has to do next, which can be pretty powerful in the right situation. So basically, I guess the idea is you activate your trooper, your guardian, you put it next to an enemy unit, then you play this card. And they have to then activate the adjacent enemy unit as their next command action or their next deploy action. So that can, I can imagine that you can kind of force your opponent to use their droid or their Imperial officer or some unit that they don't want to use that turn, so that you can bring in another unit and get to strike with it before they have the chance to punish you, or any number of situations, I imagine. This is going to be one of those cards, I think, that somebody's going to have to do it to me in some horrible situation to show me how good it is. Yeah. Because
like the sit tight.
Yes. Yeah, precisely. Like, it didn't make a whole lot of sense the first time I read it, and then you see somebody use it correctly, and you're like, oh, right.
Yeah. Like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. So this is a weird one, but I could see it getting some play, especially if your build has a lot of troopers and guardians in it. Why not? It'll do something for you.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We've got Strength in Numbers, which is 1 cost, and you can have 1 of them in your deck. Use after you resolve a group's activation. You may immediately activate another group. The combined deployment of combined deployment cost of these groups cannot exceed 12.
Use after you resolve groups. Oh, so basically you get to trigger one crew of troopers and then another crew of troopers because they cost 6.
Yeah.
Right. So it's 2 things that are the same type that have to be combined 12 or less, which basically is just
Rebel troopers. I think stormtroopers cost
6.
Do they cost 6?
Yeah, the smaller ones. Yeah. So this is good for both sides in that they're going to get to use 2 crews of their troopers, subsequent to each other. You only get to use 1 of these, so it's going to be infrequent that it's going to come out, but it may be the difference that you need on a crucial turn, to kill Vader, or who knows, what you need to get done that turn. But this will really help. And what's the last card we got?
Last card is Focus. Easy, 1 cost, 1 in the deck. Use an action to become focused.
Any figure. Oh, this is really good. I think this is going to toss a lot of the base set command cards out of people's command decks, because this is a little bit more utilitarian in some decks than getting an extra movement point, or a little bit better than maybe the rally card. There's a few others I can think of that I just kind of sometimes end up putting in my command deck just because I need the cards. It's not necessarily hoping to get them, you know, or thinking that they'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
So I think this is a huge addition to the game.
Now, it costs a 1. If you're not filled, if you haven't hit your 15-point mark on making your command deck and you're just looking for something to throw in there, I mean, that's a great card to have. Like, also, focus is always great.
Really good on melee units. Assuming that you get to start within melee range, you could focus and then attack. And sometimes some of them have an action where you get 2 attacks. So like Vader, you could become focused and then attack 2 different units with brutality. Yep. Which would be pretty nasty. And the fact that it's any figure, I think, just means that this is going to go into a lot of command decks and just see a lot of play. And, and it'll help people at crucial times in the game, which again, it's really fun. So let's move on to the minis. What do you think?
Bust them out.
All right, let's see if we can get these on screen here. Boom.
These cards out of the way.
Now, just speaking for myself, I really wish that this game came pre-painted because I'm not a person that likes to paint, and all the other, or much of the other Fantasy Flight stuff, like X-Wing, etc., comes with such amazing paint jobs. Getting these figures painted is really worthwhile, but it's also can be pretty expensive if you're not somebody who's confident in your ability like myself. So these are great little molds. I think they really capture the Rebel troopers from the initial boarding at the very beginning of A New Hope. Yeah. They do a good job of you know, just capturing that moment of them standing there waiting for Vader to come through the door onto New Hope. Or excuse me, what was the Corvette called? Anyway. Oh,
wow.
Anyway, I'm mixing up my Star Wars metaphors. But anyway, these are nice looking minis. They really capture the Rebel look and feel. I think that some people are going to have a lot of fun making these look really awesome with a nice paint job. Yeah, the sculpts are great. I think Fantasy Flight's done a great job of capturing kind of like iconic poses for these figures. Yep. Just really, you know, it's very cinematic, and just kind of... It screams Star Wars. It really screams Star Wars. I think you wouldn't have to be that into Star Wars to look at this and know that it's supposed to be a Rebel Trooper. Yeah. You know, and they're not quite as iconic as Stormtroopers, but you still get that feel. Yeah. Got the iconic blaster pistol and the cool helmet. Yeah, so it's just a nice mold. And I think you can paint it a lot of different ways. I mean, you could do the forest camo look, or, you know, you do the Starship Trooper, or this, you know, Trooper support look, whatever you're into. Yeah, looks like it's the same material that the minis in the core set were made out of, which is some type of a plastic that I swear acts more like a resin when you're kind of cleaning up the mold lines and stuff. There's some mold lines on here. Nothing too bad though. I mean, yeah, they're good sculpts for sure. Yeah. So, any final thoughts about this this particular pack, or any cards that are really screaming at you? Well, I don't play Rebels at all because I'm not a terrorist. But the good thing is you got some stuff you can use in your Imperial builds here. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, strength in numbers for sure is going to go into any Stormtrooper heavy stuff that I run. Focus, obviously, I'm going to be throwing into stuff. Grenadier, I think I kind of have to wait to see how heavy troops start playing factors into things. If people start running swarms of things, for sure Grenadier is going to be great. Provoke, gotta kind of wait and see. Reinforcements for sure. I mean, all these cards I can easily see going into any of my lists. So, and I feel like troopers are going to be, and probably should be, like the cornerstone of both the light side and the Rebel and Imperial lists. Yeah. I think that there's nothing wrong with, you know, kind of vanilla stuff having a good, strong central place in the game. And this is really adding a ton. And I've really been waiting for this because it's been super hard to play Rebels. You have to play all these kind of not necessarily synergistic, unique units that came in the core set. Yeah. And I think this is going to flesh out. You're going to be able to now take couple troopers, and then a few of these different Rebel unique units, and depending on your style, and try to, you know, crack that Imperial nut a few different ways and see if it'll be possible, because I just don't. It really hasn't been possible in our experience up to this point for the Rebels really, or the Scum really, to compete with the Empire. Occasionally, you know, if you roll just right, but I'll tell you what, man, they got their work cut out for them, and I think this is really going to help. So
yeah, looking forward to tonight's games, kind of see how things change up a bit for sure.
I agree. So stay tuned for more unboxings from the Void.
Yeah,
and we'll be right back.
Yeah, and if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and you know, let us know down in the comments what you think. You know, tell us what you think of any of this. It'd be great to hear from you, and let us know if you want to see more of these videos. All right, thank you.
Tantive. How did I forget the name of the Tantive?
Yeah.
I'm gonna